All right, this is take two. I just wanted to share some thoughts on last night's live with Birdiebombshell on TikTok and some behind the scenes stuff about that. Holy crap, in my opinion, that was an amazing show. And as a little aside, maybe I was a little over the top with my glowing support for Birdie, but really honestly, that guy's got a really sharp mind, and not a lot of people think that way. And one of the things that he pointed out on his live was he specifically wants to have his own take on things, right? So he's got at least 3 theories that I've only heard him talk about. The welder theory is one of them, the ritual theory is another one, and the money theory is another one that I can, off the top of my head, are 3 theories that I've only heard him talk about. So, I mean, amazing. And again, it isn't like Birdie's making up shit so that he can have a unique take. Like, he's literally seeing things that other people aren't seeing. And I said that I probably overfluffed him yesterday, and here I am overfluffing him on my behind the scenes stuff. But I just wanted to let you know that was one of the most enjoyable things I've done on TikTok. No disrespect at all to my other guests who I've had on, such as Cynthia Thornton. That was a completely different style with an attorney, you know. But this guy is just kind of like a what do you want to call it? Just kind of like a think tank kind of guy, right? So with Cynthia, I was probably a bit more reserved than probably I needed to be, because she's super laid back and down to earth. But being a professional and stuff like that, and I don't know that Birdie's he is a professional. I mean, he's involved in a business and everything and all those things. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like a little bit like it was just 2 dudes having bullshits and having drinks together. I may have actually been a little socially lubricated, which might have actually helped with my being a little over the top on that. So again, to Cynthia, by the way, if Cynthia ever happens to see this, or anybody that knows this, I have nothing but the utmost respect for Cynthia. I try to stay in touch with her. I know she's very, very busy, and so I try not to bombard her with a bunch of stuff. But Cynthia is amazing, and I would love to have Cynthia on again on the show. I have not done justice to her. The last time that she was kind of on one of my shows, I asked her to be around in case I made a mistake, and then I never addressed her. I feel shitty. I was the worst host ever. And in retrospect, I was all like super nice, to Birdie. And again, it's no reflection on Cynthia. So I want her to know that, and I want you to know that. Just that it just happened to me that, again, with Birdie, I was a little socially lubricated, so my tongue was a little bit more free, and it just came off really well. And for those who think that I've got some kind of issue with social lubrication, I don't usually do that, hardly ever. Like, I'm 99.9% of the time when I go live, or if I do anything like that, I don't go anywhere near that stuff. And so it just happened to be that I was kind of nervous. His show had a lot of people, following it. I think, his numbers, he literally has 10 times the followers that I did. So I acknowledged when we went on, I had everything to gain from going live with him, and he had next to nothing to gain going live with me, other than maybe an entertaining guest. But he assured me that many people that watched his show have reached out to him about how great it was of a banter back and forth between the two of us. So his people seem to like it. My people seem to like it. What a show. We talked for a good, I want to say hour and a half. Maybe it was an hour, but it felt like an hour and a half. And it just was nonstop. Like, there was just a back and forth, rapid fire, never a dull moment. It was super good. And here's the thing. I think Birdie and I have every plan to collaborate together on another live, or 2 or 3, who knows? Because at least everything I'm hearing from him says that was fantastic. Let's do this again, and I want to make it a regular thing as well, because I think there was just a lot of chemistry on camera, and our banter was really good. So I hope you got to see that. And if you didn't, of course you have a chance, because that recorded live, Birdie gave me a copy of that live afterwards, and I uploaded that live to my YouTube channel. So you can see it as in my playlist of Idaho 4. You'll be able to see that that video where I talk about explosive whatever live with Birdie. So if you want to catch that, I recommend you do it. Really good stuff. What else? that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts about that and how great that show went, in my opinion. Birdie's got a step up on me on his video production skills and editing skills. I don't know. I know he said he uses Canva. I've never used Canva, so I don't know if that costs money and how much it costs. I've overspent myself because I'm not making anything on this, right? So I've already spent on an AI editing tool, which does great, but it seems like he's a step above me. And I feel like I could do, like, I know technically how to do some of the stuff that Birdie did, but it would require me hours to kind of get it laid out the way that, he's got an eye for that video stuff, and it would take me hours, and I don't have that. I've got my time goes into research and not into the video editing as much, although I am teaching myself video editing, and I feel like I'm getting better all the time. I hope you would agree that my video quality is getting a little bit better on a regular basis. Not maybe video to video, but you look at 1 week to the next and you can see little small improvements if you know what to look for. So I'm getting better with my lighting, getting better with my video, getting better with my transitions and overlays, and adding more and more tricks to the trade as I build this thing. So that's it, people. That's my behind the scenes. I'm close, by the way, on YouTube, relatively, to being able to get subscriber-only content on YouTube. Now, the big goal, right, is to get to 1,000 followers so that you can have advertising, paid advertising, that will just be inserted for me, and that gives me a source of monetization to try to make this worth a little bit of money so that my wife doesn't force me to go back to work. But before that, at 500 followers, and I'm at 375, and it seems to be picking up momentum. So I'm 375 of 500. I'm getting there now. When I hit 500, I can have subscriber-only content. So the last thing I guess I'll say on this super long video is what will be the difference if I do offer subscriber-only content on YouTube versus the Devil's Advocate's backstage. I'm not 100% sure on that. I feel like the backstage is something that should stay free, and it's kind of more designed to know about me as a person. And a little bit behind what's going on at the Devil's Advocates. But I feel like if I have a subscriber-only area, I have to separate content that would be behind a pay subscription, right? So again, on TikTok, I've got a subscription feed that's $3 to the user. And I've got a few people that are subscribed to that. And I try to give them unique content. The struggle I always have is I want to give people all the details for free on the channel and not feel like people feel like I'm holding back. But then by the same token, also giving additional stuff that maybe I'm working on and I haven't quite solidified, sneak peeks. Like when I was talking about the podcast that I've been interviewed for. I still don't know if that's going to come out, but I told you who the podcast was, who interviewed me, details that I won't put out to the public because it's not ready for prime time. That's the kind of stuff that would probably be in a subscriber only area. So as we move forward, keep in mind that I may start changing a little bit. In my mind, I got to say, okay, I got 3 platforms, right? I've got the Devil's Advocates channel, which is 100% free, with the exception of advertising that may be put on. Then I'll have my subscriber-only version of the Devil's Advocates, which is going to have some special content. And then we have this behind-the-scenes or backstage Devil's Advocates, which is more about me as a person and those kind of things. So maybe this will become more in the future just about me as a person, whereas the subscriber-only area will become a little bit more about what's going on behind the scenes at Devil's Advocates. That's my top of my mind, is what's really going to happen, is I'm going to transition this, what I would call the family account, the backup account of Devil's Advocates, to be more about me as a human being and stories about my life and stuff, and maybe how it relates. But those behind the scenes stuff about my guests and upcoming guest appearances might move to the subscriber only area. So anyways, thanks for listening, and that was a really long rant.